All right, well, I want to start out by saying that my wife and I, we've never had a car payment ever in our life. In fact, the only debt that we ever had was a home mortgage. And obviously, you probably don't have enough money to pay off a house in cash. So if you're like anybody else, you have to have a home mortgage. That's okay. But when you think of having debt, debt is a wealth stealer. No matter how you look at it, you are actually a servant to the lender. And a lot of people live in society with what we call instant gratification. We want what we want it now, and if we don't have the money for it, we just put it on credit. Well, in this video, I want to specifically talk about why it's not a good idea to buy a new car, especially if you do not have the cash to pay for it. But before we get started, I want to just let you know that my wife and I, we are personal finance coaches, and our expertise is helping people organize their finances, maybe get a game plan together to pay off debt and build wealth. And if you're stuck financially, we want to help you. One of the things you can do is you can download our free ebook. The link is going to be in the description below. You can also go to our website at www.smartmoneymakeover.com. Again, the link will be in the description below. And if you want to book a call with us, we would be happy to talk to you and see if we can help you. There's no pressure at all on our part. Now, in this video, like I said, I want to talk about why it is not always a good idea to buy a new car. Now, I know there's many reasons why people would like to go out and maybe replace the car that they have, maybe update or get something newer. It could be that your car is getting older. It could be that your car is in the garage. Maybe it's nickel and diming you. And maybe you're looking down the street and you see your neighbors and they got a splashy nice car, and the temptation is there to go ahead and spend the money and be like your peers. But before you make a big purchase, stop and think about it for a little bit. There's actually 3 questions that are really, really important before you buy a car. And this is one thing that you got to think about. Number 1 is, how will this car fit into your monthly budget? One thing you got to do is you got to make sure that if you go and purchase a car and you put it on payments, that you do not crowd out other savings goals or anything like that you're planning for the future. The other thing you want to think about is, how much is this car going to cost to insure? Because insurance nowadays is going up, and the newer the car you have, the more insurance it's going to take to cover that. But think about your investment goals. Think about your future. Think about your emergency funds. Do you have enough funds set aside for an emergency if something would come up unexpectedly? Those are questions that we need to ask before we sign on the dotted line and get a payment that probably we can't afford. Second thing I tell people is, do I have enough money saved for a down payment to reduce the amount of money that you borrow? So if you need to borrow money for a car and it fits in your budget, ask yourself the question, do I have a sufficient amount of money saved up that I can put it down as a down payment? Because that is going to lower your monthly payments on that car, and it's going to make it a lot more affordable to be able to afford it. I want to just give you a pro tip. Most people do not really care what you drive. I know we kind of have an idea in ourselves that the nicer the car we drive, the more we're going to get respected from our peers. That necessarily isn't true. People should not be judging you by the type of a car that you are driving. They should be judging you by the person that you are, and not the things that you have or the things that you don't have. One thing I tell my students is that you really should be saving cash for emergencies. Ideally, it would be great if you could have 3 to 6 months of your expenses kind of saved in a bank account in case you lose your job. You could pull back on that. But if you can't do 3 to 6 months, try to set up a savings plan that you can have maybe 1 or 3 months of money saved in case you fall into financial trouble. And the other question you need to ask yourself is, will this purchase help me accomplish my long-term financial goals? Because this is key. What you want to do is you want to evaluate your new car purchase to see if this will delay your saving goals for the future. Maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's saving for your college fund, or maybe it's, again, building an emergency. Because I know it's fun to buy a brand new car, but the truth is it's not always practical and you can get behind. Now, let's just look at some statistics. A new car on average loses about 60% of its value in the first year. So if you bought a $40,000 car, approximately 1 year later, your value is going to be about $18,000 to $20,000. That is a lot of money that actually depreciates in the first year. And that money is lost to you. If you're looking at becoming debt-free, I would suggest taking a hard look at how much money you're spending on a vehicle and see if this payment is actually an essential part of your budget. The average car payment in the third quarter of 2025 was about $750 a month. And the auto loan debt is the second largest category behind mortgages. Americans typically owe $1.6 trillion in auto debt, according to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. And about the average time to pay off that loan for that car is about 69 months for a new one and about 67 months for a used one. Before buying a new car, I would really recommend that maybe you ask yourself the question, if you could buy a 4 or a 5-year-old car with maybe 40, 50, 60,000 miles on it. Don't be afraid to buy something that's used, but not crazy old. Some of the brands that I like to recommend to buy for good reliability would be Nissans and Toyotas and Hondas and Hyundai. These are typically Japanese models, which tend to be really consistent in reliability and really can last you for a while. That's why my wife and I put together the Smart Money Makeover system that's designed to help you take control of your finances and build your income. And we really want you to start investing for your future. The faster you get debt-free, the faster you can build your future, invest in your retirement, and start a business like my wife and I did. In fact, we started and ran 2 six-figure businesses. The faster that you can go ahead and get debt-free, the faster you will be able to accomplish the goals financially that you have set for yourself. The national average for full coverage car insurance in 2025 was $2,300 to $2,900 a year. If you break that down by month, that's about $190 to $240 a month, according to NerdWallet. So if you're looking at going ahead and the fact is, insurances keeps going up. And these are due to factors that cars are becoming more expensive. They're costly to repair. There's higher medical bills and costs like that, and distracted drivers. Avoid buying high-performance vehicles. And I would suggest maybe when you go to get insurance, consider raising your deductible, because the higher the deductible, the lower your monthly payment is going to be. And always make sure that you drive safe and that you have a clean driving record, because accidents can cause your insurance rates to jump up for many, many years to come. So before you go ahead and buy a new car and make that purchase, ask yourself, will this help me become financially strong and debt-free? Because that's what we want you to get to. We want you to get to debt-free so you can start investing in your future. If you invest in your future, you get debt-free, you pay off your house, and you start investing, you can be a millionaire. And when you become a millionaire, you will be able to give back to others in their time of need. So remember, before you go out and buy that new car and put it on payments and put it on credit, think about this. Do I actually need the newer vehicle? Can I do with less? How does this affect my financial future? Does this help me get debt-free? Because we're all about helping you become debt-free. And then make a purchase wisely. Remember, your money is your biggest asset. You can spend your money wisely or you can blow it. but it takes more time to make it than it does to spend it. So if this video is helpful, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button, and you will be notified every time we come out with new videos, and we will see you in the next episode.